Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today I'm going to be analyzing the brand new Hilda Season 2 trailer, and this season is going to be releasing on December 14th of 2020, and I will be doing reactions and reviews for every episode of Season 2 on the channel, so if you want to stay tuned for all of that content, be sure to subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like as well. It is highly appreciated, so thanks so much. But without further ado, let's get into the analysis here in 3, 2, 1, and there we go. We're going to start kind of going through the trailer here. So we can see an opening shot of Trollberg right here, and then we can see Hilda sort of looking through the window. And this scene here with Hilda and Twig sort of jumping down right here seems to be from what I analyzed previously in an interview that was conducted with Pearson, of course, the creator of Hilda, and that was basically an opening scene from Season 2 where Hilda and Twig have to chase down this house that has grown legs, and they're trying to save the elf that is living in the house, and it seems like it might be a Vitra or a Vitra. Sorry if I mispronounce it. I forget how it's pronounced within the series, but we get to see that, speaking of them, right here, and it seems to be that that could potentially be something that is connected here. But anyway, we get to see them, and then Hilda just continuing running, which I love this shot here. Of course, this is one of the main parts of like promotional artwork that they were using for Season 2, so it's cool to see it here fully animated, which is just fantastic. And then we get to see some really nice shots of Hilda here, one of them here with her on a ship, which is really cool, or a little sailboat, I suppose. And we get to see these little creatures here who we get to see later on, and these are Drogon, and they are basically supposed to be sea ghouls of northern Norwegian legends. So it definitely shows that they're doing their research once again, which I would expect no less from Hilda. I think that it's such a fantastic series with really cool and creative ideas, and kind of taking from those types of Norwegian legends. I kind of go into that with the interview when I do an analysis of that, but there we get to see them. We'll see them later on in the trailer as well. And then here we get to see Hilda and Frida, who seem to have discovered the Witch's Tower, which is really awesome. This is basically a tower that is beneath the library, and I think that is just such a cool and clever idea and a very unique thing here. So we get to see some floating books, what seem to be some witches here in there, so I think that's really cool. And then we get to see some characters right here, as you can kind of see. Now there seems to be kind of a large cast of them here. We can see the librarian, we can see David, Twig, Frida. I'm gonna guess that Hilda is somewhere in this circle, I would assume. And then we can see a few other characters. I know we also analyzed this character in a separate video as well, but there wasn't much information given out about him, so I'm not too sure where his character is going to go. But then the rest of them, I'm not familiar with them, at least from what I can see here. But we get to see them unleashing some sort of spell, it seems, and then Hilda and Frida there kind of looking up, which we can see Frida reading a book right here, which I can't make out the title of it, but it seems to be something to do with possibly ghosts. So I think that's going to be a big theme, at least in one of the episodes of the season. But here we can see the Witch's Tower sort of giving off an energy there, and then a different shot here with Hilda, meant to be reacting to it, but of course we can tell that's from a different shot. But I love this reaction face here, by the way. I just love the animation of Hilda so much. I feel like it's so well done, and it's just fantastic. I love the thick line art as well. It makes it fun for thumbnails because it's easy to cut out the characters and kind of put them all together, so I like that quite a bit. But then we get to see this lava rock monster come out of here, and it's really cool, kind of contrasting against all of the snow that is covered everywhere. So I like that quite a bit. They're with the librarian there, who of course kind of confirmed to be a witch in this season, because we didn't get to learn too much about her in Season 1. She was definitely very mysterious within that season. Here we get to see Hilda and Joanna there talking to someone, and later on in the trailer we get to see that is Edmund Alberg, who I'll go into him a little bit more at the end of the trailer, but that's who that is. And then they're here eating some pie. We get to see Alpha as well, who doesn't get any huge moments in the trailer, so it is cool to get to see him returning right there. And then we get to see Joanna and Hilda there just kind of talking. Then we get to see Tontu right here, of course, one of the Nissa, leading Hilda into the nowhere space here. And I like Hilda's outfit as well. I know it's a small thing to comment on, but she kind of has a bit of a new sort of look in this season, for at least some parts of the season, and I think that is really cool. But we get to see Joanna basically trying to chase her into there, because because Hilda's kind of leaving without her knowing. And I think there's going to be some conflict between Joanna and Hilda within the first season. I think if I had to have a bit of a nitpick with it, it was that Joanna was a little bit too easy on Hilda, kind of just letting her roam and do whatever she wants. So it seems like she's going to come down on her in this season and kind of like be a bit more harsh and set out some more rules for Hilda within Trollberg. But we get to see Twig and Joanna sort of follow her into this nowhere space, and this is really cool. I absolutely love this. We get to see some really cool stuff here. Some awesome reaction shots going on, which I can really appreciate. I love this. But then we basically get to see the librarian here finally using some of her magic here, which is awesome to see. We see some creatures as well that look like they're like straight out of Gravity Falls, which is really cool. I feel like in every cartoon, I'm able to find stuff that can relate to Gravity Falls. I feel like Gravity Falls as a series sort of spawned a whole bunch of just really amazing animated series. Not saying there weren't amazing shows before that, but I just feel like it kind of spawned a new generation of shows, and I think this is definitely one of the best ones out there. But we get to see that and kind of utilizing her abilities here to fight these creatures, these hand monsters with like eyes, Cyclops hands, I suppose. But then we get to see basically, so Hilda and Frida seem pretty afraid, and they seem to be kind of in a bit of nowhere space here with kind of bookcases flying around. So I'm assuming something winds up happening to the library and the witch's tower. But then we get to see Joanna and Hilda there. Then we get to see Frida with no Hilda here, so I'm assuming something happens to Hilda or she winds up jumping down and doing something. But I love this shot here, her just showing how powerful she is as well, the librarian here. And then we get to see something really cool, which I am super excited for. We get to see Hilda on a ghost ship right here with the Woodman as well, who we did see this design revealed in the reveals for the characters, of course, with his new captain's hat here, and Twig joining them as well. And Twig has something around his neck here also, which is really interesting. I couldn't really say what it's meant to signify or what it actually is, but it seems to be some type of collar on him, so I'm curious as to what importance that might hold. But then we get to see a bunch of the ghosts here, which is awesome to see the ghosts return, and I love the varieties of designs here. One of them using their arms there, who's super buff, and just some really cool designs there. And of course, this is kind of tying in with actually one of the tie-in novels for the series, and that is Hilda and the Ghost Ship, and that is actually said to be ships are vanishing from the harbor and no one knows why. Could the answer maybe be that they lie out on Cauldron Island? So it seems to be that could potentially be the storyline that they're going with, where Hilda has to figure out where these boats are going, and that could connect to one of the shots from the start of the trailer, and now it's connecting back to that and her kind of going out to this Cauldron Island to find out what's going on and then running into ghosts, which here we go, here's the Drogon right here, kind of trying to eat all three of them, which that would be unfortunate if they got eaten. But yeah, we get to see that. We get to see a two-headed troll here, which I did want to mention a little storyline that might happen with this two-headed troll, I believe from one of the novels, and that is Hilda and the White Wolf. And this one is Hilda sets out to rescue her mom from a two-headed troll, and that'll be really interesting. It sounds like Hilda's mom might wind up being taken by this two-headed troll at some point within the season, so I'll be interested to see that as well. I'm sure they're going to pull a bunch of stuff from Hilda and the Stone Forest, that graphic novel, so that'll be cool to see. We get to see David here with Hilda, which I did go over in one of my in the interview video, that there was a note saying that David might have a crush on Hilda, or someone's going to have a crush on Hilda in this season, and I know a lot of people are making the theory that it could potentially be David, so it's definitely a possibility within this season that he could have a crush on Hilda. Then we get to see her jumping off here, kind of with a giant troll sort of chasing her there. Potentially the two-headed troll, it seems like it could have two heads there, so I'm not too sure what that is. But then we get to see this shot is really cool, and I love seeing that the chaos is kind of entering into Trollberg, because it always kind of feels very self-contained with it only really affecting Hilda, or at least us not really getting to see the reactions of the Trollberg citizens. But here we get to see the Time Worm sort of just coming in here into the city in broad daylight in front of everyone, so I think that's really cool, because sometimes people think Hilda's a little bit crazy with everything she talks about and says, so it's cool to see that everybody else is getting to kind of see that. So we get to see that coming through here. We get to see them underwater, which is really cool with the those Drogons there, and I think that's awesome. We get to see the skeleton of what seems to be potentially one of them, a giant one like a Megalodon or something of that size, but then we get to see Hilda and Joanna once more, having some nice moments there. One of the trolls there, not the two-headed one, but here we see the two-headed one, so it seems like they might get lost in the forest or trapped somewhere. Hence the stone forest, so potentially that could be something that we wind up seeing, and then Joanna winds up getting kidnapped by it. But we get to see a few more trolls come out as well, and they seem to have some evil eyes going on, so something's gonna happen here, I'm sure. And then we get to see another scene taking place at night here with some Vikings, which this storyline is also seems to be taken from Hilda and the White Wolf, or it's technically a tie-in novel, so it's tying in with this season as well. So it seems to be that David is going to stumble across a group of Vikings who appoint him as their messenger during fierce and bloody battles. So I'll be really curious to see this. It seems like Hilda and Joanna become a part of it as well, potentially, or that could just be another shot, but we see some cool stuff here. I've heard this weapon here as a reference to, I think some people were saying Star Trek. I'm honestly not too sure. I couldn't find anything on that, any information, but I think it's still a cool design there. And then we get to see some of them here, two clans going up against each other, which is really awesome. Some really nice designs there as well, so I love seeing that. Then we get to see David here, who seems to be holding a Walkman there, and then he has his headphones on, a bandage over his head, so not sure what's going on with him. Well, we know he's apparently going to be kind of the messenger for them, but we don't know like kind of how so, and how he's kind of wrapped into this, or why he's trapped here in this violent battle, so I'll be interested to see how that goes. Then we also get to see the ship here, the ghost ship that Hilda seems to be in control of, so it seems like she either bests those ghosts, or they wind up helping her in some sort, because we know all of the ghosts aren't really bad within Hilda. I mean, there could be some bad ones, but they seem to be friendly enough, I would say. Then we get to see Hilda running off, kind of going with the theme of this, of her just kind of leaving her mum behind, and then her mum kind of like, Hilda, come on, you need to like stay safe and not just take so many risks. But then we get to see, it seems the trouble follows Joanna here, and she's just trying to have some tea right here, and then we get to see the ghost ship actually fly straight into her, so I'm assuming this could kind of be an introduction to this ghost ship and how Hilda winds up finding it. So that's really cool, kind of played for a comedic moment here with her just getting covered in slime goo as well, or not slime goo, ghost goo, I suppose, so I think that's cool. And now here is at the end here where we get to see here it is, Edmund Alberg. There we go, I finally got it. But we have a bit of a description on him because he was revealed. Or sorry, it's Eric Alberg. What am I saying? Sorry, I apologize. I made the mistake there with the name. I have a note written here, but he is actually the descendant of Edmund Alberg, but he is actually Trollberg's safety patrol, and his name is Eric Alberg, and he's a a direct descendant of historic troll slayer Edmund Alberg, but he has never encountered one himself, so that's really interesting. It seems like he's going to be a big part of this season, potentially, and maybe someone who Hilda might have to go up against, because Hilda's kind of like on the side of the trolls, so if he's kind of got to go up against some of them, then she's probably going to kind of want to like defend them, and there might be some potential conflict there. But in this one scene, it seems like they're kind of on the same page with him saying, "'Tis like the life of an adventurer," so I think they kind of have similar personalities there, so I'm really interested to see how that sort of plays out. And then we get to see the title here with a nice scenic shot, and then we get to see some sort of plant creature attacking the librarian and Frida, and then Hilda comes to their rescue with like an Excalibur sword here, something really cool, which I absolutely love. And then we get to see Hilda just being awesome while having a good time as well, just kind of slashing this monster away. And I think it's just an awesome moment there. Very cool seeing her save them. But that is basically everything from this trailer here. I know there was quite a bit to break down for this one, but there's a lot of things that they packed in here. But I also saw as well the creator Luke Pearson tweet out the trailer and also say that he was really glad that they actually kept it to very minor spoilers within this trailer. So it seems like there's going to be a lot more that we're going to wind up seeing. I mean, if you want to go back to some of my previous videos analyzing all of the news leading up to this. I do have a playlist for that, so you'll be able to go through that if you want to see all of the character reveals, because we don't get to see all the new characters within this trailer, so there's a bit more information that you can get. We have some separate clips that we've seen as well from this season that weren't shown in here, so there's a lot of information for this season to cover, and I am just super excited for it. I can't wait for December 14th. Be sure to mark your calendars to check out the season, and also if you want to check it out with me at the same time, I'm going to try to have my reactions and reviews out as quickly as possible so we can keep up with the season, since of course it will drop all at once, and apparently it's going to be 14 episodes. I believe there's going to be an extra episode for this season is what I've heard, so that'll be a lot of fun as well. But yeah, just overall a fantastic trailer. I'm super excited for Hilda Season 2, and if you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you want to see other Hilda Season 2 content, and I also cover LEGO news and Funko Pop news as well on the channel, so if any of that interests you, be sure to give the channel a look. I would really appreciate it, and also let me know your Hilda Season 2 theories down below, and what was your favorite part of the trailer. But for now, thanks so much for watching the video. I'll see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.